Here I'm solving a Leetcode problem, and this restore IP addresses. I have already explained this thing in another video in a logic building playlist. And here again I'm going to explain this thing in a detail. And the programming language I will use here is Golang. So let's choose this Go. Yeah, so you can definitely go and check this video from the logic building, and you can get ideas from there also, but here I'll explain in a detail, and this is going to be a long video. So in this problem, restore IP address, uh, we need to find out the valid IP address. Like you can see here, you can see here 255, and then again 255, 11, and 135. And if you notice here, this is all the valid section of this IP address. It should be less than equal to 255, greater than 0. So that's a valid IP address. And if you notice this, if you see this closely, you can find each valid IP address have used all the numbers here. So all the numbers. It's a different way, but it's a different combination, but you can see this 255 here, again 255, 111 here, and then 35. So we have used all the numbers here. So this is the restore IP address. There can be another similar problem, like we can like the question can be we can find, like, try to find out all the valid IP address combinations. So maybe in that case we can check with like 2. We can take the 2 and then 2.5.5.2. So maybe in that case that's a valid IP address, 2.5.5.2, but we may not use all the these numbers. So that can be another solution. So we'll see the both way how to solve this thing. So first let's try to see the solution for the current problem, where we have to utilize all the numbers and we have to find out all the valid IP address. So we have already seen one of the solutions. Just I'm trying to show you in a different way. First we'll analyze some pattern from the previous videos, and then we'll try to utilize that pattern here. So if you see if you try to analyze the pattern, we can take 2, and then we can take 2, and then after that we can take another number, and we'll try to see, like, if I take 2 and if I see, okay, this 555, this one, third one, another 3, then that there won't be the valid IP address, because one thing is we didn't include the last 5. So but we'll try in all the possible way. We'll try that. So the logic will try, like, we'll take 2, and then again it will take 5, again it will take like, first we'll take the 2, and then next time we can take 25, and then we can take 255, and then try to make the combinations with other number. So in that way we'll traverse each and every number here in this string. So that's the pattern we analyze now. Let's see one of the previous problem like I solved. It's a Rob house. So in the Rob house problem, I'm just trying to grab some pattern here. Like, if you see here, in this problem we are trying to find out the maximum number, but we cannot take the continuous 2 number. If you take 1, then you jump this one and take 2. So 1, 2, 3. If you start from 3, then jump this and come here 314. So the max number is 4 here. And what is the pattern? Like from here we have to traverse every number, but in the first case we jump by 1, like jump is a 2, yeah, jump and come here, and again from here again jump and come to this place. So in this way we can try all the combination. So if you see here, there are two level of recursion we have used. The row house I'm using here, and the row house I'm using here. So in this place I'm saying okay pick, and I'm jumping with -2. So from here again I can come here, and then if you see the pattern, another this recursion here just moving by 1. So come here. So if you come here, and then again we'll jump by 2. So from here, so that's a pattern. We are using 2 level of recursion, and we are traversing each number and trying to find out all the required combinations. So pick, not pick, and then yes, let's see another one also. This is, let's try to find the pattern combination sum. So in a combination sum, this is a target, and from the 2 we're trying to find out if you combine any 2 number that becomes 7. So I can try with 2, then 2 3, then try with a 2 6 and the 7 itself. And here it's saying okay, in this case, like we are considering 2 multiple times. So 2 so multiple times. But anyway, in this case also we are traversing each number, and from this 2 we'll try with all the numbers, and also we'll take the 2 multiple times. In this case also, if you see, we have used the 2 level of recursion. See some I'm saying index +1 here. I'm not increasing the index, so that means we can take this number again and again, and then we'll try with other number also. So that's why I'm not moving this index in this place, and here I'm moving the index. Yeah, so you can watch these 2 videos also. You'll get the idea about this pattern. Now come to these problems here. Here also we have to traverse we can take 2 and then try with other combinations, 2 and traverse in all place. Second time I can take the 2 digit 2 to 5. I can try with all other. Again, third time I can try with, I can take this 3 digit and then try with all the numbers. But anyway, I have to traverse to each string. If I take 2 also, I have to traverse each number in a string. If I take 25, I have to traverse each number in the string. If I take 255, I have to traverse each number. So I have to take one and make the combinations with 255. And so there are 3. So in this case, it's clearly understand that we need like 3 level of recursion. We can take the 1 and traverse every number, take 25, traverse every number, take 255 and traverse. So that's the pattern. But the one, and we cannot take the 4, we cannot take this 4 digit, because that should be IP address, that each portion should be less than equal to 255. That's why. So that's a clearly understand. We can clearly understand from here that okay, we can take like 3 level of recursions. So that's the one pattern found. But one of the restriction we need to understand, that we have to utilize all the numbers. So when we traverse, and if you reach to the end, then only we consider that's a valid. If you do not reach to the end, then we cannot consider that's a valid IP address. So based on this, let's write this functions one more time, and we'll see this logic also. But this time I'm going to create this function. I was going to rename this function. Well, put it somewhere down, make it 2. Okay, here we have a string is this is the string, and then I we can start first. I can start from 0, so that's why I will be 0. The dot, so dot means I will start with 2 and I'll put the dot, 2 dot, then try with 2.5 dot 5.2 whether it's valid or not. We can come here, but we didn't reach to the end, so that's why that's not a valid IP address. That's for the dot we have used. And as soon as we find the IP address, we'll store that IP address in a current IP address, and we'll also keep adding that in our results. So that's why let's call this function here. So we'll see first gen IP address 2, and then after that we can also come back and see gen IP address, the first one also. Then it will be more clear to understand this. So came back here, and then we know this time we need to call this recursion, this function 3 times. So for that, let's call this first. So first I can say I can call this function gen IP address, and is I plus 1 and dot plus 1. That's a one time. We'll calculate the current IP address here. We'll see that, and the result we can pass the result. That's a store the result. So that's the one time. So let's call the 3 times. The second time I want to start with I plus 2. So first time we take 2, second time we will take 25. So that's why here I'll start with I plus 2. And the third time, third recursion, I will say start from I plus 3. Okay, so this is our recursion. Let's add the logic. So when we take this 2 and try with other combinations, here we need to check whether that's a valid IP or not. So anyway, this is we'll just take one number, and the one number is the valid, so there's no issue. Even though that's a 0, that's a valid. So we need not to calculate anything more here. But here in the current IP address, we can pass like whatever is the current IP address, and this section, like IP section. So what is the IP section? So I can say IP section is equal to string, and then from I we'll start from the 0. So we want to take 1, then start with the 0, and we'll go to the I plus 1. I plus 1 here, that is the IP section. So I is 0, and if I say I plus 1, that means 1 index is 5, but if you take the substring, it will take before 1, so that means it will take the 0. So I plus 1, that's or maybe you can take just, okay, so we need a string, yeah, so that's good. So this one is good. Second time, like if you take 2 number, and they start with the 2, 5 and try with other combinations, then again 2, 5 is a valid, but in case if it is the 0 in the beginning, that is not allowed. So that's where it's written somewhere in the conditions. Yeah, this 001, so this is not the valid. So that's condition we need to check. So let's check this. So here we'll check current or IP section. You can say here IP section, and in this case it will be S and I to I plus 2. I plus 2 will get the IP section here, and then we'll check if IP section 0 is equal to 0, then in this case we'll just say continue, or let's say return. We do not want to proceed in this case. Or you can say another way, like not equal to 0, then you can call this thing. And this one every time we are calling, so there is no issue with this. And we call with I plus 2 with these conditions. Okay, another one is IP section. Let's calculate the IP section, and this is not required, this bracket. IP section this time is and I colon I plus 3. That is our IP section. Okay, we need to add this IP section here. So IP section, whatever the current IP address plus the IP section, and then plus we'll add the dot here. So I can copy this and paste it here also, and here too. We need to check one more condition here. If the length is 3, then if length is 3, so in this case we have to convert that to the int, and we have to check whether this is within the range or not. So let's do that. So IP section int, and then strconf I, so a to I, that is the function. I can pass here IP section, and it will return the error if there is. I'm ignoring the error, and then that's the int, and then we can check if IP section int less than equal to 255, then only call this function. So I'll put it here. Okay, so we call this recursion 3 times. Just took the one number and trying to traverse with other one, took the 2, took the 3, and trying to traverse other place also. But we need to also check here, like if I'm saying here I plus 3, then I need to check the I plus 3 is I plus 3 is less than the length, otherwise it will go outside of the boundary. So I need to check that condition also. If I plus 3 less than length of a string, then only I need to do all these things. So let me copy, I'll put it here. Okay, in the similar way we need to check this thing also. If I plus 2, so it should be less than equal to, let's make it I plus 2 less than equal to length s, then only do all these things. Tab, just I'll put closing bracket here, and I'll remove this closing bracket. Okay, so we check this conditions, and what about this one, I plus 1? Yeah, that's also we need to check. So if I plus 1 less than equal to length s, this bracket, then we need one more. Okay, so we started with this one number, and then trying to combine with other and check whether it's a valid IP address or not. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to check the condition. We need the 4 dot, like we are adding the dot here. So if it is the 4 dot, and also if you 4 dot and the index, the I is equal to length, because if we say like 2.5 2.5.5.2, so we come here but we have not reached to the end, so that's not a valid condition, not a valid IP address. So if it happens like that, then come back. Due to the recursion, it will come back and the recursion is start with the previous number, and dot will be the previous count of the dot. So let's check that condition. If dot is equal to 4, and so 4 dot we need, and so we have already added these conditions here. So let's copy this. So actually we need this. Just bring it here. If a dot greater than 4, return. If dot 4 and I length, then we need the result is from the current IP address 0 to last index, because there are 4 dots, and if we want to get the numbers from beginning to beginning and then before of the last dot, so that's why we added. So I think this will work. Let's try and see if there's any other problem here. So I'm calling this in. Let's run it. Line 60. Let's see. IP section. Okay. Let's define the IP section. So here also it will be same issues. All IP section. Okay. The wrong answer. Why? Oh, 0. So somehow the 0 came in the beginning. Let's check why it's happening. I plus 2 less than, and IP section, and this is the IP section we got. So maybe so we're checking here if it is I and I plus 2. So in this case, oh no, in the case of 3, yes, in case of 3 also we need to remove this. So this number is 3, so we need to check the 0 in the beginning, so we need that logic here also in this case. So IP section is 3. We handle this scenario, and also can check and list, or better come here and you can check if, let's call this if IP section 0. So in this case the first one, yeah, first 0, we do not need the first 0. So if IP section 0 is equal to 0, then just return. We do not want to call this one. Okay, let's try now. Accept it, try to submit. Okay, nice. So we got the solutions here, and in the same thing, the same logic, I have tried in this place, like gen IP address with a for loop. So if you see, this logic is exactly same, but here I have used the for loop, and the for loop I am running 3 times. I'm saying I plus 3, running 3 times. So that's why gen IP address has been called the 3 times. So when I say the 3 times, you'll see here the j is equal to 0. Then first time j plus 1. So that means we'll start with j plus 1, and in each IP section, the first time j plus 1 is 1 because I is 0, so j is also 0, and 0 plus 1 1, and then we're increasing j plus plus. So next time j will be 1, then 1 plus 1 2, so we start with the 2 and then 3. So 3 times we are calling this function with the index 1, 2 and 3. The same way, instead of for loop, I'm using the 3 different call here, and I'm saying, okay, I plus 1, I plus 2, and then I plus 3. So whatever the logic you thinks will be easier for you, can use either using for loop or just a straight like three times call, straightforward call with the function itself. And I'm checking the IP within the value, whether it's within the range or not, and also checking this one, like the 0. So I hope this logic makes sense for you, and you might have guess the pattern easily. So from this we can utilize the pattern. So next thing is, let's try to find out the valid IP address, and we do not have to reach to end. We do not have to reach to the end, or like do not we do not have to consider all the numbers, but we can take the 2 and then we'll try with all, and if you see any valid, just return it or collect it, like 2.5.5.2. that's also one valid IP address. Then I can say 25, or I can say 5.5.1. so that's also a valid IP address. So if you try to do that anyway, we can take 2 and try all the combinations. We can take 25 and try all the combinations, and 255 and all the combinations, and we do not have to reach to the end. So for that, I do not see that similar program here, IP address that is in Leetcode. So let's copy this function in a ID, and we can try from there. Let's copy it here, come to the light ID function. So this time I'll call this restore IP address. Let's call this function here. Store IP address and pass 1 2 3 4 5. Run it. I need to import the strings. Need to import a string conf, and what else? That's all. Okay, so we got all the valid IP address, and that's utilizing all the numbers. But this time we're going to modify the function here. So let me duplicate this. Restore IP addresses 3. And I name it 3. And this time we are going to call this gen IP address 3. And in this gen IP add 3 function, will take one number and combine with all. We'll take this this 2 combined with all the possible combinations, but will not check whether it's a till to end of the string or not. So let's modify this function. Okay, so I will call it IP address 3. So so if you see, this pattern, let's go back to this pattern for the csum. We're trying to we're taking 1 and combining with all. So I'm going to do the similar logic here. So I'll call this function, and instead of like here, like we are not increasing the index, but I will increase the index because I do not want to take the same number 2 to 2 and do, but we can do that also. That can be also valid IP address, but I want to use the 2 one time. So I'll call this kind of, and then index plus 1, and here I will do the index plus 1, index plus 2, index plus 3. So that pattern, I'm going to bring here and try to generate all the possible IP address. So let's see that how I'm doing. So I'll call this function here. So from here, come to this place, call this function, we'll say that 3 I plus 1, then so 3 I plus 2. It will start, we'll take the 2 digit and try all the combinations, and then also I plus 3. Okay, that's good. Dot greater than 4 will still consider this. We do not need the length s, so let's remove this condition. Still this is the valid things here, and then here we can check a few more things. Let me remove this. We may need this, but let's remove for now. Okay, so we are good here. Now we can increase the I plus 1, I plus 2, because we want to try with 1 number, 2 number, 3 number. I'll not increase dot here. Because this is just for taking the number and start from there, and actual logic I will just put it here in this place above this. Copy this, put it here, I plus 1, and I'll say that dot plus 1, and I need to find original current IP section is current IP or current original IP address. This one, current IP address. I'll just put it here, and I want to backtracking. So so once this function is done, bring this current IP address to the original IP address. Okay, and here we calculate current IP address. ADDR is this one. and you can pass current IP address. ADDR. Okay, so we are good here. We need to find out this IP section. So for that, let's do that. If IP section is equal to what is the IP section? So IP section is from I to, so from string I to I plus 1. That can be one IP section. Let's try this and see what's happening, then we'll modify the code. Okay, we need to print this, so I don't think I'm printing gen IP DR3. Or restore IP address. So let this 3. All combinations. Main go 116. This is a new variable. Clear the screen, run it again. There is some error here. Index slice out of bound. Which line? Main go 115. Okay, so IP section, so we need to check that also. If one thing is like if I greater than, if I greater than or greater than or equal to length of s, then return, because we want to I should be within the boundary. Let's save it, run it. Let's see this time. It's taking time. All the combinations, so we got all the combinations. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 and 5 1 2. How many dot is okay? Yeah, from here. Oh, this is not good. Look. How many dot is 1 2 3 4 5? Oh, this is not good. If greater than 4, then we need to check here is equal to 4. Dot greater than 4, then come out. If is equal to 4, then only it prints. But why it is giving 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5? Let's check here. IP address, current IP address, then IP section, and then dot. Oh, okay. There is a mistake. We cannot pass. We just pass the current IP address here. This because the logic we need to handle in this place. That's the pattern we have analyzed from other problems. So just pass the current IP address. Okay, save it now. Let's run it again. Okay, so this time you got all the 1 2 3 4 and then 1 2 3 5 1 2 4 5 1 3 4 5 and 2.3.4.5. okay, So this is the good, we are getting all the combinations here, so that's nice, but it is not taking, you know, this two digit, like it can try with like 12 point something, 1 to 3 point something, so that is not trying. So that's also we need to check here. So IP section, we are taking IP section just I plus 1. And current IP address, ID, IP section. So we need to think that how we can do. So this is in this place. Maybe if I call this to one more time, and this time what I do, I plus 2. And when I do the I plus 2, I need to check first, generate that, and then we can check for the 0. Okay, that's not a new variable, so, and this is also new, not a new variable. Let's run it. Index out of 1, maybe I can check here, if I plus 2 less than length of string, then only do that. One bracket, let me close this bracket here. Let's try this time. Okay, now we got all the combinations here. Like you see, let's try with the 2, 3, 34, 40. Yeah, so, and in the similar way, you know, you can have like I plus 3 also, same thing. You can check this condition, you can put it here. But in this place, you know, we do not have the 0, but if in case there is a 0 in a string, then 0 can come in the beginning, so we need to handle that logic also here, so we know how to handle that logic. And I think, you know, you got the idea about that. You know, it's not taking the 3 digit in the beginning, so for the 3 digit, again we'll copy and paste, and again make it I plus 3, then it will take the 3 digit, and here it will be I just 1 index, we're just increasing the index 1 by 1, but we are jumping here. So that's all about the logic. Thank you.